Southeast
India.
Asia, right?
Yeah, India too, and in India we went to Kashmir all the way. Yeah. Last year,
Long ago.
yeah, last year I was in South India.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I went to Chennai, Madurai, Kanyakumari, Rameshwaram, Kochi, Bangalore.
Yes, yes. I think the Maharaj has come. Good morning.
Yes,
Pranam,
good
Maharaj.
evening. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yes,
Good
yes,
evening.
yes. Nice to see you.
Good evening, Swami.
Evening.
Good evening.
Good
All
evening,
of you.
Swamiji.
Good evening, Noel.
We already-
Good evening, Swami.
Good evening, Victoria. Yes.
Hi, Swami.
Pranam, Maharaj.
Good
Yes,
evening, Swamiji.
yes, yes. Good evening, Pranam. Good morning to those for those who it is morning. Good morning to them.
Yes.
All right. So, yes. Yes, good evening, Barbara. I got your message. All right, so let's start. Okay, so today we shall chant Shanti Mantra 5th. All right, this is known one, known in the sense this is what is chanted here after the Sunday lectures. Madhuvata Ritayate. So you already know this, but we shall chant with intonations. We shall learn to chant. Okay, so first the English one, we shall read it together. Sweet blow the winds, and the oceans give forth blessedness. May the orbs and plants bring us health and happiness. Sweet unto us be the nights and dawns. May every particle of Mother Earth be charged with blessing. May the heavens shower us with benediction. Sweet unto us be the noble forest trees. Sweet unto us be the shining sun. Sweet unto us be all living creation. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. Okay, so this is call and response. A very beautiful peace chant. Om Madhubata Ritayate. Om Madhubata Ritayate. Madhu Sharanti Sindhavaha. Madhu Sharanti Sindhavaha. Madhiir na Shanto Shadhihi. Madhiir na Shanto Shadhihi. Madhu Naktam Utoshasi. Madhu Naktam Madhunaktam utoshasi Madhumat Parthivagam Rajaha Madhumat Parthivagam Rajaha Madhu Daur Astuna Pita Madhu Dvaur Astuna Pita Madhumanno Banaspatir Madhumanno Banaspatir Madhumagam Astu Suryaha Madhumagam Astu Suryaha Madhiir Gabo Bhavantunaha Madhiir Gabo Bhavantunaha Om Shantihi 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 Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. Let us chant it again together. We shall chant it together twice. One slowly, second little faster. First slowly. Om Madhuvata Ritayate Madhuksharanti Sindhavaha Madhiir na Shantoshadhihi Madhunaktam Utoshasi Madhumat Parthivagam Rajaha Madhudaur Astuna Pita Madhumano Banaspatir Madhumagam Astu Suryaha Madhir Gabo Bhavantunaha Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. Again. Om Madhubata Ritayate Madhuksharanti Sindhavaha Madhiirna Shantoshadhihi Madhunaktam Utoshasi Madhumat Parthivagam Rajaha Madhudaur Astuna Pita Madhumanno Banaspatir Madhumagam Astu Suryaha Madhiir Gabo Bhavantunaha Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. So this is the real pace. We slow here because we are learning, but gradually one can do that. Any question regarding? Okay, let me unmute. Any question regarding the chanting?
Yes, Shamaji, this is Manish.
Yes, please.
The last but one line,
Yes.
if you can scroll down.
Yes.
Further, the Madhvir, what is that intonation?
Correct. That is Madhir. Okay, here the I will go down. It will be lower tone. Probably I mistook it. Probably.
Okay, so it's an I that's
The I and a horizontal line above, that means a long I. Okay, E, Madhir. Okay, madhir.
Okay, thank you.
Dirgho E. Okay.
Dirgho E. Okay, got it.
Long E. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So one thing I remember that in Belur Math or in many of the monasteries, we chant these mantras along with other hymns early morning. So it creates a great mood in the morning. After a morning meditation, together, the novices and the sannyasins, monks together, we chant these peace chants and some other hymn or Bhagavad Gita. So, and at Belur Math, it is a must in the morning. So it is very interesting. All right. So we are studying Narada Bhakti Sutra, and we are in the section which is discussing the nature of Para Bhakti, the supreme love. Love for God, which is the goal of Bhakti Yoga. The ecstatic love for God. So Bhakti, as we have noted several times, has got two connotations. One, Bhakti, the goal, where love for God is spontaneous. It is no more a practice. And again, Bhakti, when we are trying to cultivate that love for God, that also is called Bhakti. The path is called also Bhakti. The goal is also called Bhakti. And we are now trying to see different characteristics of Bhakti. We have seen this Para Bhakti, this ecstatic divine love means an ineffable experience where the devotee love for God becomes one-pointed and a sort of their life revolves around God alone. They are interested in God, related to everything related to God. Everything else they are indifferent to. And last time we saw that in Aphorism 15 or 14, probably 14, we saw that although this bhakti is experientially it is same for all, but its characteristics vary according to the practitioner. According to our limitations, we express the characteristics of bhakti as we understand it, So bhakti essentially being one, it takes many forms. It comes in many flavors. It comes in many forms and styles. So Narada wants to review some existing characteristics or marks as has been described by some sages before Narada. So he is presenting before us some characteristics, some viewpoints about how this bhakti manifests, expresses itself in the life of the devotees. So first today, he is taking up the view of Vyasa, the sage. Yes. He says, Pujadishu anuraga iti para sharyaha. So it goes like this: Parasharyaha iti anuraga puja dishu. The syntax is like this. A very short aphorism but it will take our entire class today. Pujadishu anuraga iti para sharyaha. So Parasharya means the son of Parashara. Parashara was another sage, and his son was Vyasa. So this is a part. This is a peculiar of Sanskrit language that, you know, a son or daughter of someone can always be construed in a grammar through a process called pratyaya. So Parashara is the name of the rishi, and another pratyaya has gone here. I don't know which pratyaya, and it has made the word Parasharyaha, that is son of Parashara. For example, if you have come across this Taittiriya Upanishad, famous chant, Bhriguhu Vai Varunihi. Bhriguhu Vai Varuni. Varunam Pitaram. So Varuna is the father of who? Bhrigu. Bhrigu is Varuni. So Varuna, then another pratyaya, a suffix has gone there. Varuna plus probably sni or snik pratyaya made it Varuni, that is son of Varuna. Son of Varuna was who? Bhrigu. Something like that. Okay. So, for example, my own pre-monastic name is Saumik. Okay. So it means Soma plus the suffix snik. Not the snik, pratyaya is not as such suffix, but it changes. So Soma plus snik. So means born of Soma. Soma means moon or Shiva. So one who is born from Shiva or moon is called Saumik. Saumik. Okay. So this is the play of pratyaya. That's how Sanskrit can become so intricate, or it has so flexibility in creating words. So anyway, Parasharya, the son of Parashara, that is Vyasa. Iti. Iti means thus. It thus says. Iti. Vyasa. Okay. Iti, here it will be says. Vyasa iti says, what he says? Bhakti is anuraga. Anuraga means love, love for something. If you love, say, music, you have anuraga for music. If you love, say, playing any game, you have anuraga for that. Means you cherishes it, or you relishes it, you relish it. So anuraga is love for puja dishu. Puja is, we know, worship, ritualistic worship. Puja dishu means, here this is plural. Puja dishu means puja and etc. Puja and other such devotional activities. So the simple meaning of the aphorism is, Vyasa says bhakti is love for doing puja and other such devotional activities. All right. So Parasharya, the son of Parashara Vyasa. Vyasa is, you know, famous for who composed many Puranas, mythologies, then who compiled the Vedas, existing Vedas. He compiled them and made the classification or divisions in 4 Vedas. There was these classifications were not there because Vedas were mostly oral traditions. All it used to run in families. Okay. Then what he did, he collected all of them as much as he could, all these oral traditions, and then he classified them according to some style. Those who are for ritualistic sacrifice and those which are sung like this. He classified into Rig, Sam, Yayu, and Atharva. So Atharva is kind of miscellaneous, which he could not classify. All he put them under Atharva. So that Vyasa, and many people say Vyasa was not a single person because they did not care for their name. So anybody would write something or compose something and tell their name as Vyasa. It's a pen name. So anyway, if it is the same Vyasa of who composed the Mahabharata and others, according to Vyasa, what is Bhakti? According to Vyasa, what he has revealed in Mahabharata and other Puranas, what is Bhakti? Bhakti is Anuraga. So Puja Adishu. So here we shall see what are the other things, puja and other such things. Here, the word puja has come from the root puj. Puj. Puj means to adore. Okay. To adore, to revere. So many things can be called puja. Puja can be ritualistic as well as non-ritualistic. So in ritualistic, if we take ritualistic aspect of puja adishu, means puja and other things. So what are the things we can consider? One is, say, the fire ceremony, homa. Right? Homa can be called a devotional activity. Then puja itself, the ritualistic worship. Then arati, vesper. This singularly can be a devotional activities. And in a wider, connotation, puja can also, these devotional activities can be non-ritualistic, like manasa puja, mental worship. We shall see all those things in detail soon. One is manasa puja, which is part of any elaborate puja. You don't do anything externally, you do everything mentally. Then karma yoga, doing every act, whatever we are doing in our day-to-day life, and offering all of them to the Lord. That also can mean puja adishu, puja and etc. That itself is a puja. Then puja also can mean, puja or adoration or puja of the Virat. Virat means this entire cosmos. That is cosmic worship. We find in the life of Sri Ramakrishna that when he was the priest of Kali temple, one day he went out and to collect flower for worship, Divine Mother's worship. And he went out and saw a flower tree in full bloom, and suddenly it flashed to his mind that the worship of the vast, the worship of the cosmos which is always going on. So the worship is already complete. So he says on that day, I could not do the formal puja anymore. It flashed to him that as if these flowers which have bloomed to worship the God in its immanent form, the entire cosmos. So that is also a kind of puja. We can extrapolate the meaning puja, the issue, as worship of the entire universe, worship of the entire cosmos. So common to all of these, whether it is fire sacrifice, whether it is ritualistic puja, whether it is vesper, whether it is karma yoga, or manasa puja, mental worship, common to all of them is a sense of reverence and a sense of offering. This is my offering to the Lord, Lord or God of my conception. Common to all of this sense of reverence and offering. That is what the essence of puja. And anuraga means love. Love. Anu and raga. Raga means really attachment. Usually we say that attachment to anything is not good, but here in devotion, attachment to a few things means mind going after something owing to attachment is called anuraga, and it has always a positive connotation. Anuraga, the word, has got a positive connotation which is always connected with spiritual life. You have anuraga for, say, reading the scriptures. You have anuraga for, say, singing devotional songs. So Vyasa says that bhakti expresses, how do we understand bhakti? That someone has got bhakti, that person will have this natural love, spontaneous love for these forms of worship and other such devotional activities. The thing is, raga, anuraga, right? The thing is that anuraga, or this love for doing worship, does not come in a day. With, admiration, reverence, and correct understanding of the symbology, correct understanding of the significance of the steps, puja can become a most lovable activity. So two things are important to make puja, that is the ritualistic worship, a really lovable activity. One is Shraddha. Shraddha means a sense of sacredness, a sense of awe, or a sense of reverence for the act of worship itself. Secondly, understanding. One was Shraddha, and second is understanding, correct understanding of the symbology involved and significance of the mantras and rituals. That is we shall see in a moment. I shall try to give you a overview of what puja is and what are the symbology involved in that, so that whether you do it or not, you can better appreciate it, the process of the puja. Before that, I like to comment, there are some people, there are many Indians too, who are puja bashing, the puja bashing people. They don't, because they don't understand the significance of the puja, so they go on bashing puja. They are against puja. But it is important to understand the significance of the rituals. Otherwise, there will be always a constant nagging from the intellect. We have our intellect, and if we are not satisfied about what we are doing and what it can do for us, there will be always this kind of negligence or doubt about efficacy of puja. it was my own experience, when I started my monastic life, and as it is the custom in India and in most of the monasteries, the beginners, the novices, are given an opportunity to do puja. Do puja. First thing they are given is do puja. So at that time, scientific as I was, having a science degree and all, so I thought, what these meaningless rituals? I have seen them and now I am doing them. But when I understood, someone explained to me the significance, the meanings, it blew my mind. It blew away my mind. And now I can appreciate puja much more, and I love doing puja. So interestingly, as we will see, this is very important. We shall see very soon. Puja is an activity where non-dualism and dualism merge. Puja is not a dualistic activity. People might think, but puja, real part of the puja is non-dualistic. What we see as puja or worship is dualistic, that is coming one step down from what happened earlier. We shall see that in a moment. And many people think that puja is very crude or form of devotion or is very preliminary, but not for the advanced ones. But if we see the life of the great teachers, say, who is more non-dualistic than Acharya Shankara? And he himself kept himself engaged in daily worship. Not only that, he contributed a lot to formalizing the worship, the puja paddhati that we see, the Hindu puja paddhati that we see, the prevalent, it was a great deal contribution from Acharya Shankara. He kind of standardized it. And he, as we know, that he established 4 centers of learning, 4 centers of dissemination of non-dualism at 4 parts of India, north, south, east, west. Everywhere he initiated daily puja. And I remember one of the head of all these centers, all these mutts they are also called Shankaracharya. The Shankara we know is called Adi Shankaracharya. Adi means the ancient one, the first one. But whosoever is head of any of these 4 centers is also called Shankaracharya. So one of the Shankaracharyas who was very famous in India for his non-dualistic approach to religion, and he was a great scholar of non-dualism. So he was asked by a devotee, that you are established in non-dualism, then every day I see you spend so much time in doing the puja, worship. Why do you do so? Then he said, what else I should do? Shall I read the newspaper? So the point is that it is only incorrect understanding of non-dualism that people think puja is dualistic, and which is not helpful in non-dualistic approach to spirituality. So all the realized souls, Shankara, Ramanuja, Chaitanya, Sri Ramakrishna, after all their realizations, they praised puja, and time to time we see them engage in puja. Even such a non-dualistic modern sage like Swami Vivekananda, if we see that last day of his life, he did an elaborate puja. Nobody knew it was his last day, but if we read his life, in the morning, he did an elaborate puja. He did not used to do puja in the Belur monastery, but that day he said, today I will do the puja. And he closed all the doors, windows of the shrine and did the puja for a long hour, for many hours, for a long time. And also came out singing a Kali Kirtan. So those who say that puja is not required or puja is incompatible with Advaita Vedanta, non-dualism, they should see life of those people who were established in non-dualism. And in my own life, I have seen some people, some monks who are, of exalted character, and all that they got through worship alone. If you go to Belur Math or as such and ask who is the greatest non-dualistic in Ramakrishna order, everyone would point to a certain Swami who lives in Belur Math and who teaches the novices. And if you ask, okay, who is the greatest worshipper, who loves to do worship most, or who knows worship most, everybody will point to that Swami. So that Swami can sometimes, he in special days, we have seen doing puja, believe it or not, without moving from his seat from morning 6 a.m. to evening 6 p.m. 12 hours at a stretch, he can do puja. So how much love he has got for puja. But if you talk to him, he is a non-dualistic person. So examples are plenty, and puja can play an unique role in practicing devotion. So, okay, now a few rituals, as I said, a few rituals was mentioned by Narada as puja dishu, puja, etc. One is fire ceremony. What is fire ceremony? So fire ceremony was the primarily we find in Vedic period, when there was no concept of worship of image. So people used to worship different elements of the nature through fire, or different gods like Indra, Varuna, etc. through fire. A fire that was lit before them. It was believed that whatever we are offering to the fire is reaching through fire to that deity or to that element of nature. And fire itself was also a deity. So sometimes fire was worshipped for itself. And usually the mantras is like this: whenever they are offering something to fire, this offering is to say God Indra, and it is no longer mine. Swaha, swaha means it is yours. No longer it is mine. So all the mantras are done like that. So in Vedic India, fire ceremony dominated the spiritual life of people, which gradually gave way to this ritualistic worship, where it can be simple and elaborate, and where the idea is to regard or thinking God as your beloved guest and offer God various items that you yourself like, and we use it daily, like water for bathing, water for washing your mouth, then say flowers, sandal paste, food, then drinking, water for drinking, even the betel roll that Indians like to eat. So that is the concept behind puja. Then what is Vesper? Vesper is, it is a independent ritual where one lights a lamp and moves the lamp in a clockwise fashion around the image. After that is done, the devotees make the gesture of receiving the light in their cupped hands and put the two hands on their eyes. The practice of circling, these lamps around the image goes back to olden days, when the image used to remain in the innermost chamber of the temple. In Indian temples, there are many chambers. The big one, the parlor, and smaller, and innermost chamber, the deity of the temple used to be, and it used to be very dark. You will see even now many Indian temples, big temples, such lavish, but the main deity is in darkness. The idea is they say is to seeing God is not so easy. You have to see through your eye of wisdom. So the idea was that since the deity used to be in the innermost chamber, which was dark, so to see the deity or the image, they used to wave the light in circular fashion. And from that came the idea of circling the lamp during Arati. And the light represents knowledge, and this symbolism signifies that God can be revealed through knowledge, light of knowledge. And the gesture of, taking the light in cupped hands means putting that eye of wisdom in our closed eyes, so that we can see the Lord within on the altar of our heart. These three are some ritualistic devotional practices which we can say may indicate by the word puja dishu, puja, etc. So this is the method of bhakti according to Vyasa. This is the method of bhakti according to Vyasa. Now we shall see a more detailed look at puja. Okay. First, the philosophy of puja. The philosophy of puja is best captured by one mantra in Padma Purana. The mantra is Na adevam devam pujayet devam bhutva devam yajet. It means don't worship God unless you have become God. Worship God only after becoming God. And the entire puja, entire ritual of puja is this: elevate the worshipper to the level of the deity, making them feel one with the deity first. Being one, identical with the deity first, then coming down from that state of oneness, and then again treating the God as one's loving friend. This is the scheme of puja. This is the thesis. This is the philosophy of puja. Everything we see is to create this sense that I am one with God. Okay. There, in fact, the real puja ends. And what we see, offering flower, offering sandal paste, all those things are one notch below than what has already happened. That's why I say that puja is like an iceberg. We see only 1/10 of what is happening. Most of the things in puja is happening silently between the worshipper and the worshipped, which the onlookers cannot understand. Okay, we only see the physical things being offered. So how does one do that? The process. So for that, we need to know the structure of puja. The structure of puja. Okay, so every puja has some steps, and there are 6 steps. So depending upon how elaborate the worship is, these steps can be elaborate or small. What determines the puja? I said 12-hour puja. So one of the things is whether we can afford it, okay, in terms of human resources and other resources. So affordability determines how elaborate we can make it or how short we want it to be. So whatever, whether it is a short or elaborate, it is supposed to have 6 steps in it. These 6 steps I would like to show you. Okay. So that you can get a hold of it. One is preparations. Second is purifications. Third is divinization. Preparation is priming the mind for what we are going to do now. Okay, so we were doing something, suddenly we are coming here. I mean, we means someone who is doing the puja. Okay, so it is priming the mind, creating the right atmosphere. Second is purifications, creating a sense of sacredness about what we are going to do now. Third process is most important process, divinization. Divinization of the worshipper, which is non-dualistic. And fourth one is invocation of the deity. Invocation, we shall see what it means. That is dualistic. Then is offering. Offering means, as we see, Panchopachar, Dasapachar, Shorashopachar, puja with 5 items, puja with 10 items, puja with 16 items, all those things. That is offering. Finally, it is conclusion, fitting end to puja. So just remember, preparation, purification, divinization, invocation, offering, and conclusion. So I shall send the notes to you, so don't worry about that. So even if you don't remember, first is preparations. Okay, first what the worshipper does is, achamana, this cleansing the mouth, purification of the mouth. Why? Because with this mouth mantras will be uttered. Puja cannot be done without mantras. So the first thing needs to be purified is the mouth through which we are going to chant the mantras. Then Shasti Bachana. Shasti means uttering word of auspiciousness, that let every peace be everywhere. Let there be peace in the heavens, in the forest, in the rivers. Let everybody be peaceful and happy. This is Shasti Bachana. Third is Sankalpa, that is resolution. That today, on this day, I am going to resolve that I will do worship of this deity according to the best of my capacity. Okay, see how the idea is to prepare your mind, that you are making a resolution. You are making a statement, that too loud, that today I am going to do this worship with the best of my capability. Then Samanya Argha Sthapana, the water will be needed to worship. Very often you will see water is sprinkled. So in a small pot or samanarga, a kind of shape like conch shell, water is poured and all the 7 holy rivers of India are invoked in there. Gange cha Jamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jale Asmin Sannidham Kudu. So all the 7 rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, Godavari, Saraswati, all these 7 rivers, I am praying to all of you that you be present in this water. So this is priming the mind. Okay, this is preparation. Then one step further, that is purifications. What is purification? Yeah. Purification is trying to create a sense of sacredness. So everything related to the worship will be tried to be purified. They are already pure in their essence, and purification just is trying to remind the worshipper and all others who are present that these are all sacred things. First is sthana shuddhi, purification of the place. You know, the place I am sitting. First purifying the place, then purifying the seat on which I am sitting, then purifying the fingers, because with fingers I will do many things. So let me purify the fingers, purify the flowers, then gradually purify all the puja items with which I am going to puja. So these mantras which are used in purification remind the worshipper the purpose of puja, which is to evolve in the path of bhakti. So purification actually means divinization of all that is involved in doing the puja. The vessels, the mantras, the worshipper themselves. Okay, so everything is purified. Now is the most important aspect of puja, that is third part, divinization of the worshipper. This is a non-dual thing. By this process, the worshipper, they will become one with God. They will lose all their body consciousness, try to forget everything about them, rather identify themselves with the deity, with God. First, the worshipper does pranayama, breathing, some breathing practice. Idea is to purify the subtle body, which is made up of 5 subtle elements: space, air, fire, water, and earth. Then bhuta shuddhi. This is very interesting. By this process, the worshipper imagines that they are burning the gross and subtle bodies. First purify the subtle body, then do away with them, burn them. How do they do them? So they do a elaborate meditation with a mantra, and through that process they imagine that the Kundalini serpent power, which is at the base of the spinal column, is gradually going up and at last unifying with the Supreme Being who is sitting in our head, Sahasrara. And after that unification, as it were, the entire body, the physical, the gross and subtle body, has been burnt out by the fire. And at that time, many mystical mantras are also uttered, Yam, Ram, etc. Then, another important, Nyasa. the word we encountered, nyasa. Nyasa means consecration. That is to place mantras on specific locations of the body. And by this process, the worshipper assumes a divine body. Okay, so you will see the worshipper will be touching different parts of their body with a mantra. And by that process, what they are doing, in the place of their hand, for example, they are imagining, here I am placing the hand of the deity I am going to worship. Okay, gradually all the body parts, limbs, and lastly Vyapakanasa, entire body. So after Nyasa, the worshipper is ideally supposed to feel that it is no longer they who are sitting there. It is, say, I am worshipping Mother Kali, so Kali is sitting here. Okay, my body, my mind, everything has gone. Here Kali is sitting. And so that is the, the thesis, as I said, I am verily the God whom I worship. After that, what they do meditate of the deity in their heart. Okay, and then the worshipper does mental worship, manasa puja. Okay, mentally offer all the things, and these things are not material anything. So for example, the worshipper offer 5 flowers. The 5 flowers are ahimsa, flower of non-violence. Then compassion, flower of compassion. Then forgiveness, the flower of forgiveness. Like this, every item we see in gross, they offer a subtle part of that article or item. So Manasa Puja is extremely elevating something. So before that, the worshipper became one with the God who they were going to worship. Then mentally, there is nobody, none is offering, none to, it is just the offering is going on, because worshipper has become one with God. Still, for the sake of worship, they are mentally worshipping them. And to be honest, with mental worship, the worship is in fact complete. But again, for the sake of devotion and for the sake of others who are present around, the worshipper again separates themselves from the deity and worships the deity externally. In order to do that, the worshipper has to invoke the divine in the image or the picture that they are going to worship. So long the worshipper was one with the worshipped, now they are separating themselves from worshipped, the God or goddess, and as it were coming down one step below and now doing a dualistic puja. How do they do it? So the next process, this is called invocation of the deity. In this process, the worshipper imagines that the deity who was so long seated in their heart is now coming out through breath onto a flower. You will see they will do like this. Okay, and then they place the flower on the picture or on the image, and then it is assumed that the deity, the God or goddess who was in my heart so long, I was identified with that same God has now come out from my heart and present in this flower. And I am going to worship this deity who is present in the flower. Okay, this is invocation, abahana. 5 is offering, which we usually call as puja, external puja, wherein the worshipper, after the mental worship, offers various articles to the deity. And depending upon, whether you do offer 5 or 10 or 16 articles, there could be 64 articles also. It could be elaborate or brief. The attitude is profound love and adoration of the Lord. The deity, and during the time of offering, is considered living and present in human form and treated as a much loved and respected guest. That's why water for washing feet, rinsing the mouth, mixture of honey, curd, ghee, oil and water for bathing, cloth, sandal paste, all are offered. Then incense, lights are waved. Finally, fruits and sweets are offered as naivadya, that is offering. Then again, water for drinking, then betel nuts, all these offerings are done with appropriate mantras, with an attitude of loving adoration of the deity as one's very own, as if my own friend who was long away from me has come back to my house. Now I am treating my friend. That is the spirit of this worship. This dualistic part of the worship, the offering part of the worship. Then lastly, conclusion of the puja. How do they do it? A brief arati or vesper service is done. Then a handful of flowers, offered to the deity, and the worshipper then kinds of begs for pardon if they have done any mistake. Okay, during the process, because everybody says nobody knows whether my worship was perfect, but whatever it was, I hope you have granted it. So whether I don't know my hospitality was good enough, but I believe you loved it. And after that, the Sashtanga Pranama. Sashtanga means pranams with 8 limbs, prostrations. 8 limbs means 2 toes, 2 knees, 2 palms, chest and forehead. With that is, I completely surrender to you. This is in short what this puja is, puja dishu. And according to Vyasa, one who has intense love for this puja is an indication that they have this parabhakti in their heart. So in short, the puja is, first, the worshipper becomes one with God, which is non-dualism. Then the worshipper separates themselves from God and worships God as a guest. So Vyasa says, puja dishu anuraga, liking for puja and such other devotional activities. This is one of the ways devotion expresses itself. And Narada next will present another expression of bhakti, which is liking or having interest to hear about divine play of Lord. That we shall see next time. Okay. Any question today? You can ask me. You have to unmute yourself and then ask.
I have a question, Swamiji. Is it common for people who are brought up in the tradition to understand these steps? Have they been explained? And if so, how?
No. That is the sad part. That those who grow in the tradition, Indian context, they also most of them don't know the significance of the worship. That is why they don't understand it.
I feel very grateful that you have taken the time to go through each of these steps so that we will understand.
Yeah, exactly. And that too, I kept it brief. And whatever I have told today, you will get in the notes if you have, missed in following. So notes will be a bit elaborate this time because all these points will be covered in the note. All the 6 steps and the philosophy of puja in very brief.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Rose. Yes.
Thank you. I got a wonderful book from the bookstore, and you can get these notes from the bookstore. It's a little booklet, but I wonder when we will have the opportunity to be onlookers to a puja again.
Oh, you can come any Sunday. We are doing puja Sundays.
Oh, live? Okay, thank you.
No, not live.
No, not live.
You can come in person because only 2-3% come. And next live puja will be Puja of Rama on 26th May. That will be live in YouTube. That you can see, watch.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Swamiji, I had a couple of questions.
Please go ahead.
Yes. So one is maybe just a technical clarification. In the eastern part of India, where I grew up, Manasha Puja refers to, usually, like in the northeastern part of India, it's in the summer months. It refers to worshipping basically the snake goddess.
Oh, no, that is Manasa.
Ah.
And this is Manasa. Okay.
Manasa.
Okay.
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 I'm sure there was a difference because otherwise it didn't.
That is Manasa is one of the deities who is deity of the snakes. And this is Manasa.
Manasa. Okay.
From the word mana.
Mana. Okay. Got it. The second question is, so thank you first for the explanation. Even though I grew up in India, I didn't know this. Nobody ever explained this to me.
This is the very sad thing. And not only that, I don't know how many priests really do know this because they are engaged in the ritual itself. But I found that what is the structure, and in fact, you will not get this classification of 6 steps in any book, because after reading many books, I came to this classification. These 6 steps. You will not get in any book.
Perhaps you should write that book.
No, I wrote an article. I wrote an article for a magazine here for Indians. Yeah.
Okay. So just one last step. So the way you explained it, this structure, 6 steps, this applies to any sort of puja. Like in Bengal, you have Durga Puja and Lokhi Puja, Saraswati Puja, Ganesh Puja, etc., etc. But basically the same format, if I think about it, will apply.
Mantras will differ, and some of the steps may become, elaborate or short, but these are the real structure of puja. This will be followed everywhere. This is a kind of, you may say, the template for a puja.
Okay, it's not specific to
any puja. It is a general template for any puja.
Okay. If you allow me to ask one last question, what's the significance of the clockwise direction when you, you take the light, the flame around the deity?
Well, this must be a convention. I think. Okay, but as I came to know that to see the image, to show the image, which used to be in the dark, in the innermost chamber of the temple, this method evolved. By why clockwise, I don't know. Why not anti-clockwise, anti-clockwise?
Yeah, in fact, during my initiation, I'll tell you more about it, which I had recently. By mistake, I started doing anti-clockwise, and
Oh,
Swamiji corrected me immediately. And then I realized there is, there is, the direction is important
yeah,
part
yeah.
of the puja. So
Can you give a comment on the correct timing of puja? What does that mean? Okay, some other questions are there. Okay, okay, yeah. Next puja rose is not Rama puja; it is Buddha puja. Okay, Buddha's birthday, 26th May. We shall do puja of Lord Buddha, which you can see online. Is not Kali Puja most difficult? Difficult to say, It is not. Kali Puja's Nyasa part of Kali Puja is very elaborate. In that way, it is difficult. But difficulty and non-difficulty, like Durga Puja is very elaborate, goes on for 4 days, from early morning to late afternoon every day. So difficult, non-difficult is quite a relative thing. Early morning or late evening? Yes, early morning. Morning is the time for puja. But here we have to, keep up with the date. We do sometimes in the evening, and also for the convenience of our devotees. We do it in the evening. Some of the puja is for night, like Kali Puja is for night. Okay, Lakshmi Puja is light, but most of the other pujas are in the morning and should be done before noon. Should be completed before noon. These are the common feature. All right. So today in our meditation, we shall try to do a little bit of mental worship. Okay. So we are already late. I hope you have no rush, so you can do it. Okay. So today's class may go on for a little longer. Before that, please excuse me for one. All right. sit comfortably wherever you are sitting. Try to sit upright, but relaxed. Take a deep breath and close your eyes. Try to feel the presence of the chair, the contact of the chair with your body. And your feet with the ground. Try to be aware that you are sitting here on your chair or couch. You have all the time. There's no rush for anything. Take a moment to adjust your posture. See that you are relaxed. And your legs too are relaxed. Now take 4 slow and deep breaths. Now come back to your natural
breathing. Now, just try to observe your own breathing. Without trying to control it. Try to feel how your body expands and contracts as you breathe in and breathe out. Now, we shall count our breaths. Breathe in with 5 counts. Hold the breath for 5 counts. And breathe out for 5 counts. Let's start now. Now, imagine a golden light which is very soothing and cool is filling up your entire body. Starting from your toes, your feet, and as it is going up, it is dissolving all the tension and making your limbs relaxed. It's going up now. Your lower feet, upper feet, lower back, upper back, abdomen, chest, fingers of your hand, lower arms, upper arms, your shoulders, neck, throat, your face, crown of your head, try to feel the light pervading your entire physical being. You are made up of this luminous golden soothing light. Now imagine at your heart center luminous, deep red lotus flower. The light that is within you now is also what has given shape of this flower. And now imagine the part of the light is condensed and has taken the shape of your favorite deity who is sitting on this lotus. Deity is looking at you. There is a mini you, a minuscule you, sitting before the deity, face to face. The same consciousness, the same divine light has taken two forms. One is you, one is your favorite deity. You are meeting, you two are meeting, two friends at the lotus of your heart. There is no sense of awe, just a loving friendship. You want to entertain your friend. Imagine you are lighting an incense stick, very fragrant, which is your favorite one, and showing it to your friend. And your friend is very happy with the fragrance. Now keep the incense on a holder and light a candle. And show it to your friend by gently waving it in front of your friend. Your friend is very happy as you are. Now keep the candle on a candle holder next to the incense holder. Now imagine you have a large basket of freshly picked flowers from your garden. All the favorite flowers which you yourself plucked. Move your hand over the flowers. Try to feel their softness, various hues, various colors. And a sweet smell. You know your friend also likes all these flowers. You now keep a big plate, a large plate in front of your friend. And lovingly, we shall offer flowers. One by one on this plate. And each time you offer a flower, your friend acknowledges it with a smile. We shall offer each flower with the mantra Harihi Om, which means everything is God. While chanting the mantra, we shall place the flower on the plate and look at our friend who is sitting on the lotus of our heart. And enjoying the flowers. Harihi Om. 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 Next will be the last flower. Give it with utter love and friendliness. Hari Om. Just look how happy your friend is. Smiling at you. You too are smiling back. Now it is time to say goodbye to your friend. Imagine the light that solidified and took the shape of your friend at your heart is melting away and becoming one with you. The lotus too is dissolving in the light. Feel the light within you. Take 2 deep breaths. And gently open your eyes. Try to maintain the mood of loving friendship for a while, and read any holy book you like, any elevating book. Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi.